Demanda Riot, 0, 0, 0. I've been playing roller derby since like January of 2007 with Bay Area Derby Girls, yep. Well, not really. I mean, I bought my skates maybe 4 or 6 months before that. I had also just moved from Seattle, so I bought my skates in Seattle, thank you Craigslist, and they had like a little prep group called Perspective Fresh Meat, because but basically it started like a year or two before. Some girls tried out for Rat City and they didn't make it, and they were like, fuck that shit, that's not gonna happen again. We're gonna make Rat City. So they're like, we're gonna practice these roller derby drills and we're gonna learn how to fucking roller skate so that way we can be good enough to make Rat City. And I found them via the internet and got skates and started skating with them with one of my good friends, Made in Hades. She's a coach right now for the Santa Cruz roller derby girls. Yeah. So it was one of those things. She was doing my hair, amazing dreadlocks, and I was like, I'm gonna do this thing. And she's like, oh, that's amazing. I'll totally do it too if you help me find some skates. So I was like, yes. Went home, Craigslist, found a retired Rat City skater, which is kind of funny, like, because that was pretty early on. So it was, God, what was her name? It was like based off of the like Patty Hearst, like the Hearst girl that was like abducted. Yeah. So her name was like Patty Hertz or something like that. But it was basically an entire roller derby package because it came from like a girl that had to retire, and she had to retire because it was when Rat City first required you have primary health insurance. And she was like, oh fuck, don't have that, I'm out. So she was getting rid of all our gear. So it was like helmet, pads, skates, everything. And so it was like me and Hades was like, all right, now we learn to skate. And we did that, learned how to roller skate, tried out for Rat City, didn't make it. Moved to San Francisco like 2 months after, and by January was skating with Bay Area. No, didn't make the team. I think they just weren't ready for my jelly. I showed up at tryouts in full war paint and a kind of makeshift, this is how I would imagine what a Demanda Riot uniform would look like. Like I had a back patch on, a little like party vest is the best way I can describe it. And then like a skirt that was more like a belt and blood coming down the side of my face and like a white helmet that had marker Demanda on it. And yeah, they were like, whoa, not gonna make the cut. I think I had Patty Hearst's elbow pads at that point because me and Hades kind of like separated out the gear situation. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I think they actually had it filmed, and I was kind of pissed off that people were filming it because I was just like, I didn't sign up for no filming thing, blah, because there was a documentary that was being made at that time. So I may have flicked off the camera. I did the camera that was filming the tryout because I thought it was shenanigans. And yeah, and they just weren't into it. Yes, Demanda Riot existed before I tried out for roller derby. I think that happened because my youngest sister, who was skating with Rose City at the time, I basically found roller derby. I was like, oh shit, my sister plays Division I basketball. She's 6'3". She would destroy it at roller derby. She should probably play roller derby. So I brought her to a game and she was like, yeah, this is pretty fucking cool. And then she moved to Portland and started with the Fresh Meat Rose City. And so I was hanging out with her and some of the Portland Rose City girls at a time. We were having like brunch before they played a game in Seattle. And they were like, oh, cool, you're Miss E's sister. You totally need a roller derby name. And that kind of like got my head thinking. And then I think it was like a year or something later that I decided that I was gonna actually try out for roller derby. and give it a shot. And so I already had like the whole backstory was already figured out. I was like, oh, cool, yeah. So this is what I'm bringing to the table. Boom, that's it. And I mean, at that time, in just even like the Seattle area, you had Betty Ford Galaxy, who was skating in like full Kiss paint, and then there was also Reading to Rumble, who has the half skull face. So there was already kind of a degree of theatrics happening on the track that I had seen and been exposed to. So I was like, rad, this is what they're doing, this is what I'm doing. Like there was Mama Cherry, and she had her apron, and she had her cookie sheet that just kept getting more and more dented and had stickers from all over different leagues and stuff. And yeah, so, you know, seeing those people skate, those were all kind of like influences that what I was doing was A-okay. Like, go for it, kiddo, you know, that kind of thing. I mean, the paint serves a ritual purpose. Like it helps me definitely get into game preparedness mind frame. So yeah, gets in the zone. How I skate and how I present myself on skates. Intimidation's a big part of the decision to present that way, and wear war paint. And the way I did it is it has an ability to kind of take away a couple of very humanizing aspects that you don't necessarily recognize, but the back of your head is saying this isn't comfortable to look at, while still keeping it super duper simple. So I take away the mouth. Everything is white here, so you can't see, like, am I smiling, am I frowning, am I grimacing, like what's going on, and that is one of those things where if you're communicating, you're looking at somebody's like mouth and eyes, and the eyes is the other thing that I take away with the black across the eye line. It goes just to like the eyebrows, right? So again, you're losing eyebrow movement, and all you're getting is like the black is either just a little bit wider or not as wide, but it doesn't really register as those emotive faces that we're very like accustomed to seeing on the day-to-day. So without being like, I can't see her facial expressions, like that's not what you think in your head. You're just like, I'm uneasy. That makes me feel uneasy. And that is awesome. Yeah, and I use that to my advantage, which is cool because it works with everyone. It's a very, very human thing. So it's like not just on the track, the people I'm skating with. It, as you said, when the first time you saw me skate, it affected you in the crowd. Yeah. It's totally fierce. I like fierceness. You know, fierce. Let's get some of that. It's gorgeous. Demand a drag. What? Snap. Just wait when I put on the falsies. You can't even tell that my eyelashes are up to there when I have that shit on. But believe me, they're not. Oh, okay, Cruz. So Team Cruz is a Viking warrior clan of roller derby skaters from kind of across California. Team Cruz was born out of a game that I had secured for my home team at the Bay Area Derby Girls. We were gonna go and skate against the San Diego Derby Dolls on the bank track. And it was not a thing that had happened yet. There was like Team Awesome, like a pickup team had gone and skated games against bank track teams. Same thing, I think Team Legit had definitely existed for a couple years at that time as well, and had gone and skated against, you know, on bank track against tournaments. And I was like, this would be really fun to do with actual teams that I skate with all the time. Like, yes, this is rad. So I lined it up, and they were all like initially on board, but then as the timeline got closer to the event, there's a hesitation that happened and people pulled out. So I was like, no, this is not how it's gonna go down. Like, we're not gonna cancel this game. Like, these people have promoted this thing, like this is happening. I need people who love roller derby on the flat track or bank track, or, you know, like people who don't care about the big picture differences with roller derby. Like, just roller derby is roller derby, you know, like whether it be perhaps even like, you know, co-ed or against men, or on the bank track, or USAR's rules, or, you know, like rule sets, it doesn't matter. It's all roller derby. Yeah, tell me how this is different. Let me figure it out. Okay, cool, let's try it. You know, I was like, that's what I need. I bet I can find that. I bet I know people who would be really into that. And so I first kind of invited people from the other home teams on Bay Area. And then I was like, oh, this is really awesome. We should try inviting like other like WFTDA teams that are close. So I invited some people from Sacred and from the Santa Cruz Derby girls. And then I got a hold of a couple of my friends from the LA Derby dolls as well. And we pulled together this like righteous team of skaters that were just totally into it and making this happen. And I contacted Cruz Skate Shop and I was like, hey, can you help us make this team happen? Like, this is my idea. Like, it's got everybody that's local in California, mostly Bay Area heavy, but also with some people also in Southern California. And we would love it if you could sponsor us, get us uniforms, since it's a new team, help us with the USAR's insurance, and we'll go down there and have an amazing time. And Cruz Skate Shop were like, fuck yeah, we're on board. And I was like, oh, cool. So here's the plan. We're gonna be Vikings. Our colors are gonna be black and silver and fur, like, you know, like the pelts of our like beasts that we have killed and feasted on their meat and blood and gristle, you know, like fur. And we're gonna have a blast and skate out to like some Norwegian like black metal stuff that's like really epic, and maybe the words are in Elvish, and it's gonna be like stomping feet, and we're just gonna blow it up and have like this amazing camp fun that's gonna go into it. Our coaches had war hammers. At that time, there was a challenge flag that was involved in bank track. So the challenge flag went on the top of the war hammer. So when a challenge was called, that thing got like, yeah, waved around. It was amazing. And everyone, of course, has to don appropriate mean war faces and war paint, and just, again, it's very seriously play some not serious roller derby. It's also a way to really keep a very, in a way, like lighthearted yet menacing approach to roller derby, because you can just buy into the theme and have a lot of fun with it. And that's like the birth of Team Cruz. It also creates a way that if you want to have something happen, everyone who is a part of Team Cruz is empowered to captain. So if you're like, dude, it would be so rad if we played another game in San Diego or against LA, or hey, there's this tournament called the Dust Bowl, let's just fucking take Cruz to that. And then you make it happen. You contact the people who have skated with Cruz. If you get like 8-ish, 10-ish people who are on board, then it's a done deal. Like, you sign up, we fill in the ranks with subs if we need it, or just rally the troops, fill it up, get there, have a blast, and there you go. It also gives, so in that way it gives skaters an opportunity to grow in a captain role that they may not have the opportunity to on their home league, which is rad, I think, as well. And it also kind of creates a situation where it won't die. It'll keep perpetuating. Like Team Cruz started with a game that I captained, but the majority of games since then I have supported, but I have not captained. You know, Forecloser has done a lot of crazy, amazing work with it. So has Gia de los Muertos, and it's just great. It's really great to see, like, I remember the first Cruz game that I couldn't show up to, And I just kind of felt like a mom in a way. I was like, the apron strings are cut. Look at Cruz go. Cruz is flying. Be free. Like it's not gonna die. Because a lot of times when you have teams that are like this, kind of like an ad hoc team, or they are powered by an individual, and when that individual gets burnt out or they get distracted with life, then that team just kind of drops off and disappears, and then people are like, oh, whatever happened to, they used to be around and be so cool. I didn't want that to happen with Team Cruz. So like Team Cruz is a self-perpetuating beast. It's not going anywhere. It's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, this is our third year. Yeah, this is our third year at Rollercon. And one of the really great things with Team Cruz is because we are like fierce, we never back down from like a challenge or a very challenging game. So a lot of the time we are definitely playing up. We played against Team Adam our first year. That was amazing. And it was like the little victories in there that was really cool. I think one of their skaters got so frustrated that they just left the track. That was pretty fucking epic and brutal. Like I don't remember the scoreboard because fuck it, it's Rollercon. But there was a lot of like screaming, battle cries. I remember a lot of war cries, a lot of, scary motherfuckers out there on the track, and really great outfits. Shadow Soldier, was that the year she created a Viking, like a leather Viking head dress. She made it by hand. It was so amazing, and it really only fit her. But she has we tried so hard to get that thing on our heads, but it was tiny. So we ended up with like this really mean looking Viking helmet that just kind of perched. So we've played Team Adam, and then we played Team Wicked. Again, that was a really good game. They had really funny t-shirts. And this year we played Team S1. They were hard. That was good. It's the kind of game we want to play. We will very righteously feast in the halls of Valhalla. We did not win, but we died a Viking's fucking death. And that's the most you can ask for as a Viking, right? It's a valiant death. Right. Yeah. Also maybe some pillaging and stuff, but. I mean, Rollercon, you get a potential roster of 20. So you can put as many as 20 on there, but I'm typically happy with a 30-minute kind of game. 14 to 16 people, that's cool. I also really enjoy keeping Cruz a multi-skater level team as well. We've got skaters that are like, some of them are retired skaters. We have other skaters that spend most of their time officiating. So they're not all skaters that are Division I skaters, but I don't think you need that to create a really strong team. You need people that are in love with the team to create a really strong team. And we're not necessarily, our priority isn't necessarily winning, but it is playing passionate, great roller derby. And it's really great to have an outlet for that, especially when you come from a very competitive team like I do, which is awesome. I love my competitive team, but I also love my passionate about roller derby team. It's good. Bay Area Derby girls, we are definitely putting in the work this year to have a very good year. We would love to bring home the Hydra, and that's one of those things that's not easily said. You have to take down a lot of other really good teams, and at the end of the day, at this point, you have to take down Gotham, and they just had their 50th game in their winning streak. So like, that's one of those things you have to believe to say it, or have to like not say it seriously. Like, yeah, we're gonna get the Hydra. No, we're coming for the Hydra. We're putting in the work. We want to have it happen. We've put in the work throughout the years to like, we want to make it to champs, you know? And with goals like that, sometimes you just make it to champs. And then you get to champs and you're like, fuck, I don't have the steam to be here. Okay, we need to change our strategy. You know? And that has, those allotments have been made. And yeah, we've got the team to do it. It's gotta be, you know, like this year Bay Area's been sitting at like 2. And that's a really weird spot to be. A lot because we didn't leave the championships in number 2. Like Texas walked away with the silver. So there's a degree of like, I don't even feel like we deserve that spot because we haven't walked away with a silver, you know? But numbers have kind of put us there. We've worked fucking hard for those numbers, but still there's something about that tournament play that makes it really, really real. But nonetheless, being in a position where you're that high up, I can kind of see that like at this point, like there's kind of like, there's Gotham, and then I feel like there's always like a little bit of a drop, and like there's everybody else. And at this point, it's like everybody's just fucking gunning for you. So I feel a level of compassion for Gotham in the fact that it's easy to villainize them because they are very good at what they do and have been for a very long time. It's hard to be at the top. I love struggle. So I'm so glad that I'm not number 1. I really want to get there. But damn, 50 games of winning, shit. Like, I do not yet know what it's like to have to maintain the motivation to maintain that position. It's totally a different kind of motivation than it is to like be scrappy and like climb your way up to get there than to stay at the top. So that's an interesting thing that they have also managed to excel at.